Hey guys, in this video I'm going to show you how to get your dog to identify or pick items with his paw. So for us, we called this trick touch.
Good.
What I started with was his ability to give me his paw. So when I put my hand out, Thunder gives me his paw. I
Good.
kind of changed the command using the same hand motion at first and saying boop or touch or just something that wasn't paw. At first he had a bit of a difficulty with it, so I did use a similar hand gesture. You can see here I'm using my finger instead of my whole hand, and I was saying touch and boop interchangeably. I wasn't sure what I was going to be using as the final thing. Then I decided it was time for Thunder to not be identifying my hand as the reason that he uses his paw, so I got a little piece of paper, put it on top of my hand, and then used the touch command. And he would put his paw into my hand, on top of the paper. Eventually I repositioned the paper in my hand, as you can see here, between my fingers, so that he was hitting the paper, and every time that he actually hits the paper, he gets a treat. You can see here he hits my hand and he gets no reward. Then he gets a little frustrated, bites at the paper, looks at me, and then he does it again and he hits the paper and then he gets a treat.
Good.
And as soon as he was getting it that the paper was where he was supposed to hit with his hands, we pretty much just practiced that maybe 20 or 30 more times. And that was pretty much all we covered for day one of him using his paw to identify objects.
Good boy.
So for day two, I added some extra props, I want to say. I used a photo album as somewhat of a table for this, and then I put pieces of paper that were a little bit bigger and a little bit different than the day before, but were still pieces of paper on top of the book, and then I just test it, make sure that he still understands, and he totally did, so he gets his treat. Then I ask him to sit in front of the book. He gets a little overwhelmed when there's treats at the beginning, so I gave him a treat just for sitting patiently. And then as soon as he touches the paper, I say yes or good boy, and I give him a treat. And every time I'm pointing at one of the papers, I am saying the command that I want to use in the end, which I've set on is touch for this.
Touch. Good.
So I say touch and point, and if he touches it, he gets a treat. I started a little bit early with using more than one object, so as you can see he struggles, he doesn't understand the difference, they're both paper. So I swapped down to just one, just so that we can perfect the touch command first. So I say touch, he touches it, I give him a treat.
Good. Touch. Good.
Then I made the paper a little bit smaller, just so that he had to be a little bit more precise with where he's touching. And as soon as he touches the paper, he does get a treat every time.
Touch. Good. Good boy.
And after maybe 40 practice tries, there were very few mistakes where he was jumping and where he was doing other tricks. He was finally starting to get it about 40 times in on day two.
Good boy.
On day three, I tried to give him a little bit more variation, so I was moving the little card around so that he had to touch wherever it was. It didn't matter if it was actually on a surface or stationary. So that's pretty much it for getting your dog to use his paw to identify or pick an item. If you liked the video, check out my other videos where Thunder and I train together, and if you want to see more videos like that, let me know in the comments. I do put out a video on training every single Friday. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.